Okay, this is part two of the ostomy story and video. So, to recap what we were on in the last video, I gave my description of, when I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed at 13. I was bullied all through high school and made fun of. Even the teachers teased me, and made fun of me sometimes. They didn't mean to, but you know how adults are. When you're a kid and you're embarrassed, they try to help, but sometimes they end up embarrassing you more. So anyways, with that being said, we were just at the part where I was losing jobs. So about 2 years ago, let's fast forward. We're not really skipping anything, important. About 2 years ago, I was uh, kind of traveling the world, let's just say. And what led me to do that was I had some issues downstairs, and I thought it was testicular cancer. It turned out to just be I have hydroceles, which is liquid in between the testicular area. And 9 times out of 10, they don't need to do anything. It doesn't cause, as long as it's not causing you any major discomfort, it's nothing to be worried about. So I thought it was cancer when I was in Florida. Not to get into that, but when I was in Florida, I paid out of pocket to see this doctor because my Ohio insurance wouldn't pay for that visit. And this guy said it looks and feels like it could be testicular cancer, but I'm not an expert in this. I'm only a family doctor. I think you may have it. I suspect you may have it, but you're going to want to get a second opinion. So I ended up finally being able to get home and getting a second opinion, and I found out it wasn't. And yes, I did make, a GoFundMe to help pay for the doctor's visit and help with some other bills. But I never lied to anybody. I genuinely thought I had testicular cancer. I was not feeling good. I was puking. I had throbbing pain down there. And since then, a few of my ex-friends have given me crap for it, said I was a horrible human being. But I don't use that GoFundMe anymore. And I did pay the people back that GoFunded me, and I did apologize for it. It was never a lie. I just want to clarify that because I don't know if they'll see these videos and then they'll try to comment. And I'm trying to help people, so, Anyways, so I finally came home, and this first summer home, I was working and living well. And then, of course, my Crohn's started to flare up again. I got sick. Long story short, my mom basically forced me to go to the hospital, even though I didn't want to go. And it turns out that my hemoglobin level was a 2.7. That's not good. It was supposed to be between 11 to 17. So, anyways, fast forward, they found out I was having a faucet bleed, which I was bleeding, and then it would stop, and then I was bleeding, and then it would stop. Then now I have blood clots everywhere, so I am on blood thinners. And I had a colonoscopy, and my doctor basically said that in a year or two, you're going to have cancer. It wasn't an if, or it was you will have cancer. You will have colon cancer. So for 6 months, we tried an aggressive Entyvio infusion of treatment. I took a bunch of steroids. I took Entyvio. And for the most part, Entyvio was okay, but it made me sick. Sometimes. Didn't work. It helped, but the treatment didn't work. So I had a decision to make. Risk getting colon cancer and having to go through chemotherapy or other treatments, or the easiest solution, remove the area that is most inflamed. So I had a total, I can't pronounce it. I know I sound dumb, but if you want to know what the medical term for it, it's where they cut your large intestine out, all of it. They take your rectum out as well. They sew your behind shut, and they hook you up to an ileostomy bag, and you have a stoma. So I had a total colostomy, something like that. And up into the surgery, it was difficult. Anybody that actually has the choice to have surgery, I definitely want you to hear this part, okay? I understand what you're going through. When you have to wait for the surgery and it's not like an emergency surgery, I lost so much sleep. I mean, especially because the doctors literally told me that I was at a bleed risk and that there was a good chance I was going to die because I'm on blood thinners and I have blood clots. And I also have a rare liver disease called PCS or PSC. There's no cure for it, and Crohn's actually caused it. It's basically where the inflammation in the bile ducts of your liver get all inflamed, and your body can't produce the toxins out well. So your liver takes a lot of that damage, and it causes scar tissue and causes issues. Fast forward, I got to the surgery day. I barely was sleeping at that point. I was worried. I made a living will. I made a power of attorney. And I remember praying and praying and praying to God, please, please, God, don't let me die. I'm only 31 years old. Don't let me die. And I made it through the surgery. And I have to tell you that surgery wasn't the hardest part. Even though there was all these risks, they did tests for months. I think it was 2 to 3 months of testing before they were absolutely sure that they covered every aspect. And the surgery is supposed to take 6 to 8 hours. If you look it up, it's a 6 to 8 hour surgery. I was out of there in 3.5 hours, and I was back in recovery. The recovery was the hardest part. Now, this video is already reaching 7 minutes, so I'm going to finish this video up, and then I'm going to do a video of my bag and kind of how I empty it. Just a little tutorial. I just wanted to have a 2-part covering everything. So with that being said, it was rough. I spent 2 weeks in the hospital, and the first couple of days out of surgery, it was great. So for anybody that just had their, has had a colostomy bag attached or an ileostomy bag attached, the difference is the colostomy is normally on the left, the ileostomy is on the right. And with the ileostomy, you're more at risk of being dehydrated. So, anyways, it was rough. I mean, first couple of days I was drinking well. I was having milk. They allowed me to have first liquids, then thick liquids, and I made it to the thick liquids. I had milk, I had like yogurt, and then all of a sudden I started vomiting profusely. And when I say profusely, I mean they had these bowls in the hospital, and they were meant for people getting sick. And I threw up 2 liters worth of liquid, and I was still throwing up. What happened is my stomach for the first few days seemed to be healing, but then it stopped. It stopped working, so my stomach started stretching and filling with liquid. They said it was about the size of my liver. And you got to remember that I had my entire colon and large intestine taken out. So all I have left is my small intestine, and it shouldn't be that big. I mean, it was so inflamed and filled with liquid. So I had to have the gastric tube, the tube that goes up your nose, down your throat. I threw up when they put that thing in. And then that thing, all it did when you talked was scratch the back of your throat, because it's metal. It's meant to go in there and suck out all the liquid. And then I had a catheter because I couldn't pee, which is normal after surgery. They had to take the catheter out and put it in 3 times. 3. Doing so caused me to have sexual dysfunction. I couldn't get hard. I couldn't, I'm trying to use terms that won't get this video banned. But men, you know what I mean. When you're getting close, I couldn't, and I ended up getting a UTI. I got a urinary tract infection that made me even sicker. I also, because I'm on blood thinners, all the areas that I had sutures and stitches and gauze were bleeding profusely. I woke up one day in the hospital bed, probably about midnight, and I'm not kidding you, this arm here, I was laying, I'll show you, I was kind of laying like this, and I had my arm down like this by my side. And when I lifted my arm, the whole thing was covered in blood. Absolutely covered in blood. And I wasn't bleeding out, but out of a small area in my stomach here, I'll show you more. Yeah, it's kind of hard right now. I'll show you more when I can go to the mirror. There was an area here where, when you bend over in the crease of my stomach, where there were stitches. Well, I bled from that while I was sleeping, slowly for a couple hours. So it stained my underwear that my mom had brought me. It stained my shirt, and it stained my sweatpants that I had, and my whole bed had to be changed. So I just want to say, for anybody that's stuck around, the purpose of this video is to tell you my experience. It sucked. It was very rough, especially considering I chose to have the surgery done. But you know what? It is now May 29th. My surgery was April 27th. I'm a month and 2 days out of surgery. I'm at home, and while I'm limited on the mobility and things that I can do, I want to tell you that you can do it too. You can do it too. I thought that I was just going to die. I thought that I couldn't do it. I fought with the nurses. I fought with the doctors. I was miserable. But in the end, I finally listened to what they told me. I'm home. Knock on wood, my bag is performing very well. I get blood work done 2 times a week. And so far, my test came back where I was very well hydrated and I was very well nourished. And I want to tell you, for anybody, whether it be the individual going through it or a family member, whether you have just a loved one, a husband, a wife, a son, a niece, a nephew, or maybe you have a special needs person, someone, especially a special needs person, someone who isn't really capable, whether it's mentally or physically able to take care of themselves, it does get easier. And you're not alone. I thought the same thing. I thought this surgery was like a rare surgery. But if you just go on YouTube, along with my videos and multiple other videos, you'll find out in all over the world, men, women, kids, the elderly, they all live with bags. It's not that uncommon. There's bodybuilders, there's nurses, I think I found one video where there was a fireman. It is possible to live a normal life with a bag. So, you're not alone. With that being said, the next video that I'm going to release will be me kind of going over to best of my ability. I'm not going to empty my bag on camera because I'm holding my tablet and it's going to kind of be difficult to do that and empty the bag, and it can be messy. But I will show you that I do have a bag. I'll show you my routine, and I will show you some of the drinks that I drink to help me with my nutrition. All right. Peace out.